May Elohim bless you guys. Today is Monday the 30th of 2021. I want to share with you guys a dream that I had today. I know it's very important. Listen to this dream and you guys will understand further of what I'm trying to share with you all. In my dream, I saw a mother duck with one chick. Many of you guys know that the mother duck tends to have a lot of chicklets, like more than 4 most of the time. So to see just one chick with the mother duck, it makes you wonder what happened to the rest of them. And so this in this moment, I wasn't wondering at all. I was pretty much running for my life in the beginning because the mother duck started to run after me. I didn't know at first why she was running after me. But when I was looking at the mother duck, she had one of the chicks in her mouth, in her throat, like if she was about to swallow it. I do not know if that was, if in the dream it never emphasized that she ate the ducklings. When I saw her, she had the ducklings lodged in her throat. Now, after the mother duckling stopped running after me, the mother duckling's mouth opened where I could understand what she was saying to me, literally, like if I was speaking to a person. This mother duckling started to say to me, my kind of like my babies, like her chicks, don't want to eat. She said, I stored up food. I stored up food for them, but they do not want to eat what I stored. Basically, their chicks were starving. They were starving and seems like they were famine because of what the mother stored. I had an image of what she was storing. She was storing dead mice and anything that was basically unclean to eat. She was trying to feed her chicklets with. She was asking me to help her, save her baby, which was only one. And so now I find myself that I appear immediately into a store that I knew it was like a family-owned business, like a grocery store, like a tiny one. I walk in and I'm going to tell you something. What I saw outside, it was different what I saw inside the store. Because outside, this mother duckling is kind of showing a sign of famine, a sign of difficulties of being able to find good food. When I finally appear inside the store, this store is packed with food. All the shelves completely stacked up to the brim. Every aisle, I'm going to tell you, I needed to squeeze between the aisle because it was so packed in with food. When I got to the end, because every aisle I kept going through, I couldn't find the fishes. Once I got towards the end at the back of the store, I see the tiny little fish that I was looking for. It was further, like it was just like maybe I would say 3 feet away from me. And when I'm about to oh, there they are, I see them. And I'm about to go ahead and over there to grab those little tiny fish and purchase it. Suddenly, a big shelf appears in front of me that doesn't allow me to go to the other side. And I notice that, I'm not at the back of the store because it's actually a cash register. And now there is a person behind the area where they're checking people out. And I say to the person, because I'm like, okay, well, I can still see the fish behind him. So I say, I just want to buy some tiny little fish because I'm trying to help a mother duck feed the baby chicks. And when I told the guy the story, he felt compelled somehow. I don't know why, but he felt like he wanted to help me. And I looked at the price for the fish and I couldn't tell what it was, but I knew that it was so expensive for a tiny little fish. so expensive for just a tiny little fishes. And I couldn't believe the price. I just remember like, oh my goodness, like the prices were so expensive. Then I noticed that the guy was being helpful, that he started to bring the prices, started to drop down the price. And it took a while for him to drop the price. Again, it was like a second confirmation. The price were skyrocketed. The price of food went so high up. So high up. And I remember that I stood there waiting for him to tell me how much it would be, because he's like dropping the price down, dropping the price down. And finally he drops the price down all the way to barely like 98 cents or 89 cents, something around there. And I could tell that the guy wanted to just simply just give me the fish for free, but he needed to at least charge me for something. And so he gave me, he put the price there, but then I realized that I never paid for it, and he never gave me the fish, because the dream changed. And now instead of the guy being behind the cash register, he's in front of me, and he says to me, "Do I know you?" And I'm looking at him like, that's weird, because I already know that I don't know this person, but he's asking me if he knows me. And then he says to me, "Have we dated before?" And I'm looking at him like, and now the people, this is another thing. There was nobody inside this grocery store. Then all of a sudden now there are people around in different area. Wherever I look, I see people in the store. And I look at him and I said to the guy, "Have you gone to church?" And he says, "Yes, I have." "Well, there you go. You probably saw me at church." And because I didn't want to embarrass a guy, there are people around, and for some reason I resemble someone he familiar to someone to him. That's how it felt like in the dream. It's like I looked very familiar to someone he knew in the past. So I say to him, that's maybe probably where you saw me, was probably at church, So then after he was expressing to me that he's gone to church and all that kind of stuff, I kind of start to clarify, and all of a sudden my voice changed, and I became very stern and very serious with him. And I said to him, not to put what on, not to take it. I can't say that name because my video will get censored, but you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So in the dream, I told him it's like if I knew that he has not taken it. And I said to him, "Don't let no one, not your family member, not your friends, whoever they are, don't let no one convince you to take in this." And I said it so loud that the people around me heard it, that they just gave him a stern look, and they just stared at him to see his response towards me. And he just got quiet and didn't say anything. Now the dream changes again, and I end up literally in the middle of the street. While I'm in the middle of this street, guys, I'm noticing there's not a lot of cars driving. I see that there are houses on the right, there are houses on the left. I see people on the road, literally people on the street itself, kind of like scattered and not clustered up, but scattered here and there. But there was one person from the distance that caught my attention, because that person was staring up. That person was looking up. I don't know what they saw, but they saw something, that they were in the middle of the road, and it just stopped them right in their track, and they looked up into the sky. It caught my attention right away, because who is going to be in the middle of the road, especially on daylight time, in the when it's daylight, being in the middle of the road when it can be very dangerous, and you just stop right there, right in the middle. So I see this person, they're looking at the sky, and I was like, oh, what is this person looking at? So it makes me look to see what that person was looking at, and I couldn't see anything. But even though I couldn't see what that person saw, I felt something within my spirit in that moment. I felt like something happened, and I felt like if like, to me, I got I had a moment of, oh my goodness, did the rapture happen? I had a moment, like literally, like in that dream, I had a moment of like, did the rapture happen? And all of a sudden I got this feeling of like the Father kind of calming me down, like, and then suddenly I got this feeling of like, go inside of a house. Of darkness is going to descend right now. Like I got this feeling within my spirit that I knew darkness was going to descend. Don't tell me how, I just knew in the dream that it was happening. It was going to go down. And I knew in the dream, guys, that I couldn't jump in my car. I couldn't get to my destination on time. Like I knew that I needed to go in a house ASAP, like right now. And I started to, in my mind, I wasn't thinking of who's going to let me in. It was more like, I'm going in. I need to find a place that just, that's open. And so I end up finding what looks like an abandoned church. That's what it looked like to me. Was it really abandoned? I don't know. I know that church was open. There were people inside. And I went in. And this is what it looked like. The door was practically open. There were people inside. I felt like these people it's like these people were also like me, just strangers coming into this place. I would say there was probably about close to 10 people in here. Not a lot of people, but close to 10 people. Because the people that were outside, they were running, they were trying to go to their destination. I knew that we were not going to make it wherever it was, not even for like a 5 minutes type of thing, 10 minutes type of drive. No, it was like, it needed to be now. When I was already inside this place and I saw the people there, many of them were on the floor, huddled, like a child crying type of huddle. Again, this was a regular day, emphasizing on a regular day and everything like that. So I'm in this place, right? I see people and everything. I immediately start taking action where I'm already closing. I'm closing the curtains and everything. And I noticed that some of the windows had curtains, and I was so happy. I'm like, oh, good. Some of the windows at least have something, that I can close it. I can work with it, because there was no duct tape. There was nothing. And I was working with whatever I had there. When I came in here, when I walked into the building, think of like the back area. Like, see this little spot right here? Let me see if I can show you. So you see that little spot right there in the back? Think of it like if that's the bathroom. So when I was over here and I was trying to close the window, I noticed that the windows didn't have any covering at all. And there were two people huddled on the floor, like if they were weeping, but the weeping was not a weeping sound. It was more of a fright sound, more of them being so scared of whatever is happening that they can't describe or understand. But the strangest thing is that all the person that was there, they all had a white blanket over them. Every single person in that room where I was had a white blanket over them. When I saw that these two people were there, I did not know if they were male or female, because they were completely covered with a white blanket. And I kind of emphasized or thought, I don't know if I said it out loud or if I thought it out loud, but I said, yeah, it is best if you guys stay here, because they were so scared. You can see the fright in them that even if I tried pulling them out, I wouldn't have been able to, because they were that afraid. That it was best to keep them huddled in the bathroom. At least they were cooped up in there, then taking them out into the big wide space and have them even be more afraid. So they stay there, and then I was looking at the window. I said, okay, I gotta cover that window, because even though I can see dirt or a rock behind it, I don't want to take a chance. And then all of a sudden, a white t-shirt appears right in front of me. I grab the white t-shirt, and I start to squeeze it in between the cracks of the window. I did not open the window. I was like, I'm not taking even a chance to even open it a little bit. I'm just going to try to squeeze it in between any little cracks that I have, just to have enough to hold it in so it covers it. So I started doing that. I started to just, poke at it and making sure that it was completely sealed up with a white shirt. Then I went back. I went back, like, think of it like I'm walking in between here. Like, I went back and there's nothing here. There's no seats, nothing. It's completely abandoned, like empty, open space. Then I noticed that there is a woman peeking through a window. Now, this is what's strange, guys. Okay, mind you, every single person has a blanket over them. This woman also has a blanket. She takes a blanket off where she kind of looks like her face is exposed. Her whole body is covered, but her face is exposed. And I knew that she was a woman. Everyone else is covered that I cannot tell if they're a female or male. How weird is that? When I mean they're covered with a white blanket, they're covered with a white blanket. I cannot tell who is under there. I know it's a human being, but I can't tell their gender. But this woman, I knew she was a woman because she exposed herself where I can actually see her face. But even though a little bit of her body was still covered with the white blanket, I saw her peeking through the window. And I came out immediately when I saw her. I pulled her away. And I'm going to tell you something. This is what's strange. I pulled her and I grabbed her and I lifted her up like nothing, like she didn't weigh anything at all. I lift her up and I put her in the bathroom with where the other two were that was so scared. And I said to her, I think it's best if you stay in here because you can't be looking out the window. It's dangerous. Like I was trying to express, but I didn't have time to explain, time to go through that. And I said, it's best if you stay here because I just felt like it was going to create attention, bring problems, to the rest of everyone else is afraid already. And because she's curious, because she's the only one right now that's very curious and want to see what's going on. I said, no. This is not the moment for that. Can't be peeking outside. I also understood that most of these people, they were like, they I don't know if they were believers or not, but they didn't know what was going on at all. Like they didn't know what was going on. And this is the thing. When I closed the door, guys, from I'm talking about this area right here. When I closed the door, one of the door was open. When the door was open, I saw this. A dark cloud. But you see how that cloud looks like a dark cloud? In my dream, it didn't look so much as a normal dark cloud that you see there. It was abnormal. This is what it looked like. This is how close I can get to expressing something that's gross. It looked like dark putty. Dark putty that looks heavy and is moving and is covering everything. That it looks like it's gross. It's swallowing things up in a sense, like it has a life of its own. Pure, thick darkness that looks heavy. So the cloud that I showed you previously, it looked like it's still kind of light, like you can still kind of go like this with it, right? And kind of move it by just moving the powder or the smoke. No, it was so thick you couldn't move it. It was not a normal dark smoke. It was thick and it was gross darkness that was moving. This is the only closest picture I could find to express, and it looked like putty or Play-Doh. It was gross, like that type of movement of texture of a slime. Think of it like a slime, but instead of a slime, it was just dark Play-Doh because it was thick and it was covering it. But this is another thing. When I was in that church or / house, I looked at the main entrance and I stood there like a soldier. And I started to pray and I started to say, may the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach be over this place. May the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach be over this place. When I started to say that, I started to notice something. When I started seeing the gross darkness coming from one side of the world, and I saw it coming, when it covered the whole entire place where I was, I still had enough light I could see, and I didn't feel this gross thickness where I was. But outside of it, it was gross and thick and dark. I don't know how to explain it. I will read something to you at the end of this that will explain a little bit more. But what I'm saying is I can't explain in detail in the dream. I never got the clarification in the dream why. I just know where I was. It looked like a regular darkness where I still had enough light that I could move around, I could see. And outside, it was so thick and gross, you could not move around that stuff. Another thing, when I was there, I heard a voice outside, a demonic voice that sounded like a man. Someone that knew the people or the owners of this place or whatever this place was. They seemed like they were doing wicked things in that place. And this person or this demonic thing thought that they could go in. This is another thing. They automatically thought that they could go in. And I hear a voice really loud and angry and says, there is someone in there that is standing something like if I can't express the wording, the detail of expression of this thing, but it was basically expressing, because I was a believer and I was there and I served the mighty. He was protecting me. He was watching out for me. And those things knew, because I was in there, they could not go in. No matter how much, if they could not go in. Even those people that were there, they were protected. Even if they were not believers, they had a white blanket over them. And I don't know how to explain it. I can only explain it the best that I know how. There was light where I can see. There was darkness outside the place. Nothing can survive that. Demons and demonic things were out there. This thing started talking in an angry way because they could not come in to where I was. And I remember that when this thing started going like that, saying these things to someone else that they were talking to, I stood where I was facing the entrance, and I stood like a soldier facing it, and I was praying. I just kept on praying. I kept on praying, and I woke up in that moment. I woke up after that, guys. Remember what it says in Isaiah 61. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of Yahuah is rising upon you. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and deep darkness the people. But Yahuah will arise over you, and his glory will be seen upon you. You hearing this? And here is Joel 2:2. A day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, like the morning clouds spread over the mountains. You're hearing this? Same concept what I saw in my dream. I saw what looks like thick darkness. To me, it reminded me like of thick putty, dark, thick putty, gross, thick putty, spreading all over from one side, spreading to the other side. Look at and let's read Amos 8 verse 9. It says, and it shall come to pass in that day, says Yahuah, that I will make the sun go down at noon, and I will darken the earth in broad daylight. You hearing this? In broad daylight. It was broad daylight in my dream because everyone was still minding their own business, doing their own thing. Broad daylight. And everything took a shift. Everything changed. Everything changed. Let me read you from a sister. Let me read you this. Here's the title that she wrote down. My Harvest of Souls. This is the short time which will follow the 3 days of darkness. Okay, you're hearing that? My harvest of souls. This is a short time which will follow the 3 days of darkness. Listen to this. My children, I am here to tell you that deep darkness is coming upon the earth and the people. This is not just a figure of speech, but of actual fact. The darkness is very soon upon all. It is this darkness that you, my warrior of faith, must be ready for. It will be unlike anything ever experienced on this earth. During Moses' time, darkness was experienced by my people and those of Egypt, not the entire world. This darkness will cover the entire earth for 3 days, and this darkness will be felt by all peoples. It will be so thick that light will only be seen a few inches from your face. It will also be deadly, as though caught outside in it will not survive unless they are able to be in a locked car, and they are believers in me. This is when demons will be released from the depths of hell, and any human caught outside in this will be killed. The demonic crime will only be intent on killing anything that will be outside during this time. Human and animals will be their prey. Therefore, as I have told you, you must be ready for this time. I arrange for your family to be together at this time, as believers in me will be protected in your homes. You must cover all windows and lock your doors before the darkness descends. You will be given a 2 warning before this darkness descends. You will see aurora borealis lights in the sky during the day and the nights before the darkness descends. I'm going to repeat that one more time, guys. Listen to this. You will be given a 2 warning before this darkness descends. You will see aurora borealis lights in the sky during the day and the nights before the darkness descends. The darkness will come upon all the earth at the same time, around 12 p.m. noontime. Time will also appear to stop. Please understand that you will need to have enough water and food to last for the full 3 days of darkness. You must not, under any circumstances, open your doors or windows during this time. To do so will allow demons entry to your home. Believers in me will be unharmed, but all unbelievers will be harmed. Also, you will hear noises outside, both voices, animal-like sounds, and screams. You may also hear voices that sounds exactly like someone you know, a neighbor or a relative. Understand this. No human can survive this darkness. Anything that you hear is a demonic entity trying to deceive you into opening your doors. The voices may appear to beg you to let them in. Do not fall for this deception. Do not allow anyone in your household to do so. I repeat, no human is able to see or move about in this darkness. It is impossible to do so. So do not be fooled by the voices. My chosen ones will have light in their homes, while other believers will need candles. Be prepared for this. Only my chosen ones will be able to use their fridge and freezers. There will be no power for most during this time. As I have told you, you must keep all children away from the doors and windows, as they must not open them. You will need to stay physically together during this time. Do not separate, as there is safety in being together. All believers will have angelic protection outside their homes, so you will be protected as long as you listen to my instructions that you are not to open your doors or windows for any reasons. Believers and my chosen ones will be praying to me during this time of darkness. Pray for peace and calmness of spirit, especially for non-believers and children. It will be granted. I, King Yeshua, and my Father will visit each household and person. No one will be missed. This will be a last chance for unbelievers to understand and accept me into their hearts. Those that do not accept then will experience pain and anguish, and some will get another opportunity during my harvest of souls. This is a short time which will follow the 3 days of darkness. I wish none to perish, but some will not choose wisely even during this time. It will be their choice. Again, I say to you, prepare for this time. Once you see the lights in the sky, the aurora borealis, get your family together and stay together. Do not allow family to go to work as the darkness descends at noon. Descends at noontime, and many will not make it to safety. Do your best to ensure that your family listens to you. Once the darkness descends, they will begin to understand the importance of being safe together. Again, I will repeat my warning. Do not open your doors for any reason. No human can survive in this darkness, which can be felt as well as seen. No human can see anything in this darkness, so it would be impossible for any to find a way to your home. Any voices begging to come in and be safe are not humans. They are evil demonic entities intent on killing any humans that they are able to. They can and will imitate voices of your friends, neighbors, and relatives. Do not believe any voices that you hear outside. Do not open your doors early before the full 72 hours have passed. You must be obedient to my instructions for the safety for those in your homes. As I have said, all believers will have my angels protecting your homes, so no evil will be able to force an entry to your home. However, if you open your doors or windows, then you are allowing them entry to your home. Do not do so. Be wise, my children, and follow my instructions, and all will be well. During my and my Father's visits to your homes, my chosen ones, my warriors of faith, will be anointed and transformed. This will be apparent to all. My warriors of faith are to wait for their instructions, which will come to them after the 3 days of darkness. Be ready, my children, my chosen ones, for you will never be the same again. your King Yeshua, your Redeemer, Messiah, and your soon-to-be bridegroom. Are you excited? Isaiah 26:20, it says, "Come, my people, enter your chambers and shut doors behind you. Hide yourself, as it were, for a little moment until the indignation is past." Isaiah 60 verse 1. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of Yahuah is rising upon you. For behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and deep darkness the people. But Yahuah will arise over you, and his glory will be seen upon you. Joel 2:2. A day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness, like the morning clouds spread over the mountains. Amos 8 verse 9. And it shall come to pass in that day, says Adonai Yahuah, that I will make the sun go down at noon, and I will darken the earth in broad daylight. Wow, wow, wow. My brothers and sisters, let's heed the warnings. Let's be ready. Let's make sure that we are watchful and paying attention. That when we see that those colorful lights in the sky, that we know what is coming our way. Okay? I will link the message below in the description box for those of you that want to print it out. I think that would be a good idea to do so. Print it out, share it with your loved ones. Share it with your loved ones, with the people that you love and care about. Share it with them. Share it with friends. Share it with strangers. You never know. You never know who will need that message, and it will save their life. And it will save their life, because anyone that is found outside, including animals, will die during these 3 days of darkness. A lot of information, a lot of detail in this message. We have come to have more understanding regarding the 3 days of darkness than we had ever had years ago. We used to get glimpses and pieces and not have the full story, but we have come to now of more of a deeper understanding regarding this. I don't know if you have noticed that, but we have come to a more profound, deeper understanding regarding the 3 days of darkness. The Father has been over and over repeating 3 days, 3 days, 3 days, more than one person, over and over again, confirming 3 days of darkness. So let's heed the warnings. Let's prepare, because we're coming to a wrap up. We're wrapping it up, my brothers and sisters. We're wrapping it up. May Elohim bless you.